Good evening, pilots. I wanted to have a look at this video called Mechwarrior 5 Rise of Rock Throwers by Friend Freak. He has a profile picture of an ice cream bar. This is already going to be good. I know it's going to be good. As always, link will be in the description to the original video. Grab your drinks, grab your snacks, and let's roll the film. Hit it.
Mechwarrior 5 is a game about mechs and nothing else, I swear. Get introduced to a universe at
Don't go digging into the lore, because, 6 hours later, you're going to be scratching your head going, how the fuck did we get here? What is this? What is that? Why do we have so much lore for these places?
If not at war with its neighbors, then usually at war with itself. And if not at war with itself, then it's probably ruled under petty dispute. Either of which means prime time for mercenaries to commit war crimes these other houses can't.
I am very familiar with those war crimes.
Welcome to the story of Rock Throwers Incorporated. This name will make sense very shortly.
Oh, I bet it will.
Now, I could detail the beginning and rise to prominence of this company, but like every save I do in this game, that would basically consist of firing all my employees, beelining to the vault.
As one does, because if you're not perfectly emulating BlackRock, then you're just not doing it right. If you're not just absolutely tossing caution to the wind and just blowing everything up, you're not
system
doing it
for
right.
the free mech, and heading straight to the core worlds to do single-player missions for 10 hours. If you think doing that is insane, you are correct. You'd be listening to the same arena hosts for hours on end.
Yeah, don't look at my streams. I might have done that quite a bit. I mean, mostly it was to get good with the HOTAS controls, but yeah, no, we've done that.
But I do it anyway. So instead, we'll fast forward to the first DLC of the game,
it really does.
Legend of the Kestrel Lancers, which is
God,
only a brisk 30 hours in. Now you might be asking, why are you skipping so far ahead of the game? Well, this is the first of the mission sequences that don't boil down to, kill this thing, and then I did. Added benefit that it lets me make a lot more bullshit mech designs that I get to introduce.
I'm sorry, what was that crab you had there for a second? Hold on. No, go back. I have not seen this one before. Huh. He might have changed the name on that one, to be fair. I can only guess as to some of the builds he's got here. BJ arrows, probably gonna be flamethrowers.
That I get to introduce to you.
My guess.
Because the best part of this game is not the war crimes itself, but the journey we take to get to the war crimes.
True. And that's already
This DLC gets kicked off by none other than the Federated Sons / House Davion. Here's the 411 and what you need to know about the Inner Sphere at the time. This part of the galaxy, owned by House Davion, who, much like an 80s high school quarterback, will say they are God's gift to Earth and then prove that by shoving you into a locker. Don't worry, they're Christian, and God will forgive them for their fire starter sins. And this part of the galaxy is owned by House Steiner, rich as sin and dumb as bricks. But as they say, throw enough bricks at your opponent, and the CTE will cause them to become dumber than you. Or dead.
True.
Notice that they own the two biggest parts of the galaxy,
what are you doing
and are getting married. Talk about a power marriage. In celebration, they decide to take Shotgun Wedding to its logical conclusion and conduct live fire war games by hiring mercenaries, including us.
That would be like, look, if my wedding does not have mechs needlessly blowing each other up, I don't need pilots to be in them, but if it doesn't have a lot of mechs blowing up, I don't want to go.
I will be frank, their chances are not great. They really thought, let's hire some mercenaries to do battle with House Davion, and House Davion would win. This will be such a sweep. I'll run this battle alone, and use it as an excuse to show you
Oh,
how I
God, he's running
trivialized
an
this
atlas.
entire game. So, you want to learn how to make Mechwarrior 5 a
atlas? I'm
cakewalk.
curious.
Let's look at our mech. There are many builds in Mechwarrior, from Discal Revival to LRM Boat to the most cursed, Balanced. Don't play a balanced build. Get enough firepower to kill one helicopter, and then dick around with whatever build you want. That is how you play Mechwarrior.
For the most part, I tend to run builds that don't deal with helicopters. I just go straight for, this is going to either kill you or kill me. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. And just immediately shut down my mech.
In this case, short-range missiles. Short-range missiles use ammo, have limited range,
100% base.
And the first two parts do not matter at all. If you hadn't killed them with the first volley, it's assigned to...
Oh, sweet heavens. Okay, so he's running L-Box 10. Makes sense. Shotgun. SRM-6s, 4 of them. And then 4 medium lasers.
Shoot them again. This is what we call optimized mech building. And it becomes even more optimized if I add another SRM-6 and throw it on an Atlas DH, a Star League relic.
Yep.
This is why I spent 10 hours in hell. And to show you how this mech works, the mission is now over.
It will destroy everything.
Now that I've shown you the regular build, let's show you the actually broken build. If you're experienced with this game, you might notice that I'm not using a full vanilla version of Mechwarrior 5.
Even close.
That is because
this is something akin to something I would do.
Because I like having fun in my games. Added with these mods are Inferno missiles.
Ooh. I think he was running his game so
Inferno missiles, instead of doing damage, actively heat up the mech, like your weapons do when they fire. Except this is...
I see you. I see the builds you're running, and I just... 2 SRM-6 Infernos are good.
Involuntary, and you cannot stop it. And when you get too hot, the mech will shut down. This will stop the mech in its tracks and make it a sitting duck. And let's just say I have every head hitbox in this game memorized.
Yeah.
It's just the glass part of each mech. Now if you're looking at this and thinking, hey, isn't this mod pack a bit overpowered? Get ready.
Here's the thing. It might be a tad bit overpowered. However, you could do this just as easily in vanilla with the flamers. Like, you could easily take like a Bane or something, put a bunch of flamers on it, and then just proceed to shut down a mech that way.
For the rest of this video, and you have...
Dear God, he's running 2 silver bullet Gauss cannons.
Denied the possibility that I am a herald from the future. So, massive success. We have won these live fire war games and somehow not committed treason by killing the general. Well,
I'm sure it was just a simulation and there was no actual pilot in the cockpit here. He's not screaming in agony.
But we do get recommended for another operation. Welcome to the actual DLC. Enter stage left,
we don't like this
the Capellan
one here.
Confederation.
We don't like
the
this
Capellans
DLC. At least the
will
ending,
tell you that they are an equal among the other houses. That is a lie. They are losers. In size, in diplomatic power, and in human rights. All the more reason for the Federated Sons to take over their territory.
In honor of our marriage, I give you a vast prize.
Oh, and what prize would that
be?
The
Capellan Confederation.
Oh,
scratch that. This is actually a wedding gift, I guess. Fucking nobles. Our first objective takes us to Tikhonov, a highly advanced factory world responsible for the manufacturing of the future metal coffins that I will create.
Nope.
The initial strike is a great time where I can finally introduce you to the definitive worst part of my mercenary group, Fahad. A man who will not stop droning about how
Usually it's the fact
these
that
wars are
fix my
causing
armor
the
half the
decline
time,
of
but we did
humanity
learn how to
and
fix that
loss of
with the quality
technology.
life
Fahad,
improvement.
I have a counterpoint. You seem to claim to hate these wars, and yet you have no trouble deciding to repair my War Crime 9000. Also known.
I would like to point out that he fixes everybody's war crime machines, because I don't think he's going to get to it, but we have
as a slightly modified fire starter. As for disabling the planetary defenses, floor it and pray you destroy the turrets on the first pass. After Crackhead charging the planetary defenses alone and outrunning 2 full mech regiments, we get assigned a very simple mission. Drive out remnants of a mech lance in a mining town. I hover over the many mechs I can use to quickly and carefully take down the mechs in an urban area. Then I remember that Fahad exists and might start talking again, so I bring my blackjack with 650 cal machine guns.
It's just crazy.
Oh, shouldn't have talked, Fahad. Now I'm going to tape down my left mouse button.
Yep, there it is. There's the machine gun
After
build
clearing
for
out the rest of
blackjack.
the remnants in the rubble formerly known as Giziga, we move on to the last defense of the Capellans on this planet.
I didn't know this
This
game
time,
had
I'll bring a
free
more
cam.
normal build to the fight. A Banshee equipped with 7 large lasers.
Oh god.
Disco ball builds, as they're normally called, can be effective
I
because
have not
focusing
heard of
all
these
that
builds, but it
firepower on
sounds
one
about
limb
right.
will usually cause it to explode and render those parts unusable.
Now with the XL engines, yep,
Or
it'll
just kill him.
detonate.
But there is one issue that I have with these types of builds.
Heat.
If you cannot aim, if you cannot track the opponent moving, which is a little bit difficult, seeing as the game at its best is a trial in how much stimulation you can take, and at its worst, a light show that melts your GPU.
Kind of a skill issue, but
that's why I prefer
see it.
killing instantly with ammo, instead of killing in 1 second without it. As you march through the facility, you'll notice the one advantage that the
once you
Capellans
get
do
the
have over the
HOTAS
others.
controls
Having
down,
a
you can
competent
definitely
military.
use a
They are
disco
one of
build,
2 great
for sure.
houses who have actually built a new mech in centuries.
I mean, okay, yes, they did build 2 mechs, but like, this thing has an axe and maybe an SRM or 2, maybe a laser here, sure. This one's the better of the 2, but this mech is usually kind of
They didn't need to advertise their ability of
messy.
having a big stick. Well, they did have a competent military. Now
They
to Tigris, the intellectual core of the Capellan population. Time to commit catastrophic brain damage to the Capellan Confederation. And what causes more brain damage than 2 shotguns attached to each arm? Now, the rest of the Lance will say that there is ECM interference messing up aiming on their mech. But what the CPUs do not know is the idea of looking outside their windows and manually aiming. If there is one thing that I can say about the AI in this game, is that it's horrible. They will constantly charge the enemy, get their arms blown off, and will still not be able to keep up with you when it matters. This will cost you millions.
Which is funny because you can put the biggest engine on these damn things, and then they will just be as slow as hell. Mostly because, and I don't know if he's gonna get to this, but I'm unfortunately cursed with, I wouldn't say knowledge, I'm just say more cursed with the ability to overthink. I think it's because they have no real pathfinding. Because these maps are just randomly generated, minus like your DLC maps, you're not really going to be tracking to anything. It's like a cat. It's like a blind cat trying to navigate its way through your house by occasionally bonking into things and feeling with its whiskers. That's what these mechs are doing. And it's just kind of sad. Because even if the pathfinding in Mechwarrior 3 wasn't that great, and they generally kind of stumbled around the battlefield and weren't too bright, they at least had some sort of competence. I don't know. But this is just bad.
My advice? Stuff them in baby-proof longbows so you won't immediately lose a rare mech. Now that we've set up a forward base of operations...
I don't even know if the LRMs are that good because they can't even really... Like, I don't know if you could even do that necessarily.
We're going to destroy all power in the cities.
Because I don't think the
now,
LRM
seeing as we
builds
recently
work that well.
acquired the ability to create the Capellan's mechs, you might expect us to use those mechs against them. You are correct. However, what they won't expect is
Not
that same
the way
heavy
you
mech
think.
running at 150 kilometers an hour,
Yep,
machine
there it is.
gunning their generators, and jumping over everything else.
And keep in
The
mind,
game is
there's
also
a full
unprepared,
length.
and basically has to hyperspeed through the text as I am already on the boarding ship, which means the other marshal's defense going from bad to worse to dead happens in the span of like 2 minutes.
And the reason he's doing this is because nobody wants to be bothered with actually taking out all those mechs and then sitting there destroying the generators and all that. Like, most of these DLCs end up being, how do I build the most optimized mech to overcome the issues of these DLCs and then get through it? Because otherwise you're spending a whole bunch of C-bills trying to wipe out all the mechs, and then it's
This
just
is
not a
not
great
exclusive
time.
to that single mission, as I do that exact same thing on the next mission, and they're still able to send off the data they stole. The speed of their data transfer must only mean one thing: they're using space fiber. So what information did they get?
They got our MIIO code books.
So they basically know everything about this operation. And who did they deliver it to? Comstar, owners of the internet,
great.
and really big fans of the status quo, which is at war. A good comparison for what just
Yeah,
happened
they don't like
is
to
imagine
mess
the
with
Capellans
things.
being a younger sibling being beat up by its 2 older siblings, and then telling mom so that they get grounded. What a snitch. Off to the next battle. First is to
I'm
check some
surprised
other
he fielded
battalions to see how
anything,
they're doing.
Like, other than a fast mech for this one.
What about Colonel Harkness? Definitely KIA. His morale
Oh,
was
this is the
bombarded by
defense
Infernal
mission. Never
missiles.
mind.
When he
You're
tried to
you're
find
trying
out
to
he
defend
turned
this
up the
lance
authority
over
just
here to his
burned
left.
him alive.
Oh no.
We're detecting Liao forces.
Well, that's expected. Well, I guess we could do some petty payback as a treat for them. Fun fact, if you ever face a victor in battle, shoot at their right arm. It will
Yep.
go from giant danger to giant paperweight. Next is their HPG
That's for the,
station,
earlier
aka
models
their
of Victor,
giant router.
but-
It's time to see who took down.
If you ever have the misfortune of having one of these victors, as I've learned from my chat, what you're really supposed to do is shield this arm like you're running cord. So this arm right here, you rotate the torso so that way any incoming fire gets transferred to this arm. Does that translate well into gameplay? Not necessarily, but essentially you're going to want to rotate that torso real quick while your AC-20 is reloading. However, if you're going to pilot a Victor 9 Bravo, might I recommend a Hunchback instead? Because it might not be able to hold as much ammo, but a smaller hitbox and generally just more armor for your AC-20 might be a little bit better.
Shoot at their right arm. It will go from giant danger to giant paperweight.
Pretty
Next
much, yeah.
is their HPG station, aka their giant router. It's time to see who took down the internet.
We serve a purpose much
The battlefield, a flat plain, a perfect place to showcase LRM boats and their abilities. I don't like LRM boats.
I don't
First,
either.
They are very ammo inefficient. Taking down helicopters with them, I hope you like missing half your shots and overkilling with another quarter. Second, the salvage isn't great. Generally, I like not needing to completely rebuild the mech from the ground up when I salvage them from a battle. And these guys don't do that.
Yeah,
and lastly,
they tend
is
to
another
blast
AI
it to bits. And here's the other problem with LRMs. By the time you get a lock, they're probably going to be within 400 to 500 meters away from you. And you now have to either pull the trigger and switch to your lasers, or you have to then pull the trigger and then create distance between you and the enemy in order to essentially use your LRMs. Like this Griffin here. Which, by the way, is the other problem with the Griffin. Because this is a long-range weapon, and then this one's a short-range weapon, or medium. So you're basically switching between the two, and that's another rabbit hole in of itself. I just have a hard time using them. Again, a bit of a skill issue, but by the time you get to use these things, it just isn't
turns
worth
out,
it.
even when you do make an effective LRM boat, shooting a target with it is effectively alerting the horde, and they will descend upon you with their short-range lasers.
Yes, especially in the arena. Especially in the arena when it comes to free-for-all, when you're supposed to be all like battling each other. They will descend upon you instead, because you just did a crap load of damage if it was just spread out all over the armor. Because you did a lot of damage, they now perceive you as the threat. So again, it's just, if you're going to run a build like this, SRMs, MRMs
which
are
you will
probably
be
gonna
unable
better.
to defend against.
Yes.
Every Griffin just decides to jump me into a corner. And the only reason that I survived is that
all they have left is LRMs, because you took off every single arm with your medium lasers. Because these mechs are just that bad.
the Griffins have a crippling weakness to being crippled. And even then, we left the mission at risk of losing a lot of good equipment. Now, after firing every missile ever and being hit with every weapon ever, I may have been a little bit disoriented, which is why I ended up bringing my artillery mech to a short-range urban engagement.
Oh,
artillery only arms after a certain range, which means I am left with 2 weapons, a pea shooter gun and 2 medium lasers. Well, I did get to use the artillery once. That was fun. But this mission was more of a 10-minute exercise of how far can I backpedal my mech into effective range.
Yes.
Time to save another mech lance. Now, throughout this video, you might have thought, gee, these builds are a little overpowered. Now let me assure you, attaching anything enough times to a mech will make it overpowered. Case in point, a Jaeger mech with 4 PPCs. Heat may be an
that sounds like
issue,
a familiar build.
but this is probably the best long-range kneecapper in the game. First their knees exist, and then they refuse to exist. Being able to save the battalion stuck on the rock with only 1 casualty. What can I say, the Jaeger mech's armor is paper thin. I'm gonna need a human sacrifice here. Now it's time to go take down some ACM fields.
Yeah,
this next mech is my tribute to Wangan Midnight. I've created a spider mech that speeds past the 200km/h barrier.
Jeez.
As a great man once said, speed. Look, I dumped nearly $200 into that fucking cab. I'm getting a joke out of it, alright?
I mean, fair,
Also,
fair.
add another to the count of missions to break by going too fast. By having them constantly go, it's so over, we're so back, it's so over, we're so back. In the span of maybe 5 to 10 seconds. Final mission, and I guess they send off to this video as a whole. One final holdout to ensure our survival, and both sides will not be holding back. This is an Annihilator, basically a giant artillery platform, separate from the other.
I mean, it can be an artillery platform until I decide to put a whole bunch of flamers on it and then just, or machine guns, and just go.
Giant artillery platform. And what do we have left? 4 SRMs, 4 LRMs, way more than 4 lasers. How about
4 PVCs?
4 heavy rifles?
Oh no.
Let's just see how much pullback.
It just basically one-shots them. It melts them. By the way, yeah, welcome to Destruction Land. This is the entire map. And I know he's gonna rant and rave about his mech, and I'll give him that, right? I just want to say, oops. This is the entire map. I know it's kind of warby because he's been firing multiple cannons, and also I think there's an ECM effect going right now, but this map is a giant L, and it's the massive L that Piranha Studios took when they released this last mission. Because what do you mean the last mission was just on a small map where these guys just show up out of nowhere? He came from behind the building. He just teleported there.
Mechwarrior in a nutshell. Big, slow, but oh my god, seeing any part of a mech get insta-gibbed is amazing and makes this game worth the cost of entry. The result of all of this? The Capellans, kneecapped. The Federation, well, they're also kneecapped because Mom took away his allowance. But we should have actually just kept doing arena missions. Have you seen how much they pay out?
Yes. And that's the problem with the DLCs, is that it's like, if you like lore, then you're gonna love the DLCs. If you want to actually make C-bills, you go to the arena. It's just that simple. You go to the arena, you make money. I guess you go do contracts when you're bored of the arena. You rinse and repeat. And you just make builds that effectively help, like, get through the story the quickest. So that way you can experience it, but not, like, get drained of your resources along the way. Which is kind of a bummer, because I would love decent rewards for the DLCs, but it just doesn't really exist. I think they kind of fixed that with the Shadow Kerensky DLC, but the enemies are also really hard, so there is that. And again, if you enjoyed the original video, please click the link in the description. It goes off to the original author's video, Friend Freaky. And with that, this has been Annika, signing out.